When Women Speak.
And New Jersey Poetry Events presents
When People Speak.
Poetry and conversation with pop-up poetry guests.
Your hosts will be Amira, Shabazz, Bilal.
And your co-host, James C. Ellerby.
And our next guest, she has such an illustrious background. I'm going to call her up to the stage while I read her bio to you. I know that's kind of embarrassing, but hey, she can handle it. She's a strong woman. The next person coming up is Megha Sood. Welcome, Megha. How are you?
I'm good, Amira. How are you?
I'm wonderful, and I am so happy that you are here with us on When People Speak. Megha, I know you from various places, and I'm trying really hard to find your bio. I don't see it. But can you tell us a little bit about yourself while I do some searching here?
So first of all, I'm very thankful to you and James for making me part of this platform, and especially when it's finishing 1 year anniversary of its inception. And second of all, the date with matches with the 1 year anniversary of George Floyd death, which galvanized the whole nation. So it's an absolute honor moment for me. And to start with a little bit about me, I'm a poet, writer, editor, author from Jersey City, New Jersey. I have pivoted from a 12-year career of myself in information technology to my creative writing. So it's been only 3 years I've been writing, but right now I have like 650 plus publication of mine in 200 journals in like 7-8 countries.
Yes, you
And
do.
yeah, I'm also an associate poetry editor of UK-based literary arts journal Mukichek and one US-based California arts literary journal Life and Legends. I'm also a literary partner with Life in Quarantine, Cesta Stanford University. Basically, it's one of a kind first ever historical archive where I'm given the responsibility to curate the works of poets, writers, and artists in any medium all across the globe, and to create their work for this kind of a historical archive. And that's my responsibility. And this year, both my first chapbook and my first full length collection is going to be coming out. So my first full chapbook called My Body is an Apology, which is coming out by award winning press Finishing Line Press. And my full length is coming out by Flower Song Press, and it's called My Body Lives Like a Threat. And I'm extremely honored to share the author space with the US Poet Laureate Juan Felipe Herrera. So
Yes, yeah.
yeah, so that's a little bit about me.
So, Megha, you gave us a little bit, but I'm sorry. Every guest that comes here, I get to read the bio. So I'm going to read your bio, even though you've expressed everything, because I am so extremely proud of knowing you, being a friend of yours, being a fellow poet of yours, sharing various stages, and now here with you on When People Speak. So let me go ahead and read this bio for our audience out there. Miss Megha Sood is a Pushcart nominated, award-winning poet, editor, and author from Jersey City, New Jersey. She is a poetry editor for UK-based arts and literary journal Mukichek and California-based Life and Legends. She is also a literary partner in the project Life in Quarantine with Stanford University, USA. Her awards include National Level winner of Spring Mahogany Literary Prize 2020, three-time state level winner of the New Jersey Poetry Contest, nominated Author of the Year by New York-based Spill Words Press, etc., and her work inclines towards literary activism and generating awareness in the primary goal of her writing. Her chapbook, My Body Is Not My Apology, is coming out by award-winning Finishing Line Press, and her full-length poetry collection, My Body Lives Like a Threat, is soon to be published by Texas-based Flower Song Press. And she is a blogger. She is Megha's World site at wordpress.com, and she tweets as Megha Sood 16. Wow. She's also a member of When Women Speak. She left that out of her bio. She's a regular sharing her work on that platform, and now she is on our sister program, When People Speak. Megha, Every time I turn around, I'm seeing an award with your name on it in the poetry circles. And I want you to know that I am extremely proud. I am extremely proud. And you keep that fire going. I am back there cheering for you each and every award that you win. And now I'm getting off the stage so people can know why you are a winner and why you're here on When People Speak. Ladies and gentlemen, Megha Sood.
Thanks so much, Amira. I'm going to be reading 3 pieces of mine today. The first poem is called The Nation in a Chokehold. And this poem was exactly written an year before on the day of the death of George Floyd. The nation in a chokehold. Yes, the streets are overcrowded. Yes, the lanes are bustling with protest. Yes, there are streets humming with anger. Overcrowded bus stops, sidewalks, bike lanes, parks. Everywhere where now should be quarantine. Where now the lanes should be deserted. Where now everyone should be 6 feet apart. Masks covered, but still breathing. Here, the nation recalls the pain, the unanswered angst of those calling from the grave, for those grieving souls who are yet to put to rest, those headstones, now a placemaker for a black mother to sit and cry alone in the deep folds of the night. Here, the nation mirrors the screams of the black blood lacing the sidewalks, mouth gaping at the nakedness of this whole nation, staring back at the end of a gun, a police gun. Here, the nation acknowledges the bullet shooting went awry. Here, the nation recalls how the protectors devour. Here, the nation recalls how easy it is for you to forget a loss of life and wait for the next news cycle to begin. Here, the nation recalls how eyes pop out, losing life in an instant. When your brain misses the next wave of life giving air coursing through your veins. Here, the nation recalls how the brutal hands loaded with power thick as greed, dripping with incessant hunger, took life boisterously. Here, the nation recalls how life was ignored, leaving the warm and supple body on the sidewalks pitted with fear and blood of the black, beautiful bodies. Here, the nation recalls how to survive by sucking in, gulping air, taking deep, long breaths feverishly, trying to survive after being in a chokehold for 8.5 minutes. Here, the nation remembers Eric Garner, Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, Emmett Till. Here, the nation learns again how to breathe freely. My second poem is called My Body is Not an Apology, and it's from my forthcoming collection from the Finishing Line Press. My body is not an apology. This body, my body, is not an apology. It's a prayer. Forgiveness wrapped in the filigraries end of my skin, frayed at the ends, battered for so long by your pointy convictions and cookie cutter rules which try to shape and mold this body along. My body is not an apology. It doesn't desire to fit in a frame mapped inch by inch, else to be ashamed. My body is not an apology. It's a roar, a declaration, an unapologetic, unabashed, straight truth in your face, a war cry, a deafening scream from the silence. My body is not an apology. This body will not be mapped as a benchmark for beauty, an attempt to hide the crow's feet or the spider veins from your wild probing eyes and your forked tongue. My body is not an apology. It's an eye of the storm, a dance of destruction, a safe haven for life, forgiveness in disguise. My body is not an apology. It's the epitome of affection, a metaphor for crimson love that flows in my veins for years to come, with love neatly folded in the wrinkles of skin, warmth oozing from every pore of my being, a lesson etched in every single crow's feet, forgiveness written through every inch of my spider veins. This body is not an apology, but a profound lesson, a triumphant proclamation, an unfettered declaration. And the last poem of which I'm reading today is called Peace, a Metaphor for Denial. And this was the national level winner by the Poetry Matters Prize 2020. Peace, a metaphor for denial. Peace, an act of ignorance, an act of denial, is not a bliss, no more. When the silence is gutted like a fish and the blood of your own fills the street, how long can you be the puppet in your own peaceful country? The act of abandonment speaks a muted language for all the hearts trapped like sparrows on the other side of the town. The wall creates a boundary between me and humanity. They are still considered illegal with one foot in my land, another bloodied and stuck in the barbed wire that are put around God's own country. I was born with the privilege to call the piece of earth my own. No matter it is laced and seeped with someone else's blood, it belongs to me now. The young boy is shot. The pavement is colored by the shade of his blood, dark and useless to the people of this peaceful country. Those who pull out the armrest and beat cheers to see the stars lit up the sky and the deafening noise muting the wails of a widowed mother. They sip the beer as cold as their souls, leaving the scene with a shrug and a short sigh. Ignorance is bliss. Peace is a metaphor for denial in this country I call mine. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you so much for presenting. And I feel that that last poem piece was definitely coming from a place, although it was universal. What is the origin and or what is the beginnings or the birth of that poem? Where did it come from?
So basically, the poem, it came from a place of like a protest. And so what I've been like, I'm not an African American, but I'm a person of color. But to observe the systemic oppression of the African American and the all the history of how the police violence and the brutality and everything which has been going for years and years, and there's a vicious circle that everything sometimes happen, then there's a news cycle, and then everything comes down to a stop. There's talk about, some level of like some laws will be put in place, some reforms will be taken, but nothing happens, and there's again a death. So and this goes totally against the core fundamentals of the country on which the country is built on, the like, liberty, life and happiness. So I'm like, this the poem is like, it's just like a repetition of those emotions again and again, and I'm like, people, they are just living in denial. For them, ignorance is a bliss. And they just keep calling their country as like peaceful, where there's so much is happening and people are turning their heads away from it. So based on this, I wrote this poem. And based on this, I also wrote a short, like a CNF, a creative nonfiction, where it was called Don't Wait Till You Become a Hashtag. And I wanted to say to the people out loud that just because you're not an African American, you don't have to say that, oh, this is not happening to me, so I'm not going to speak up. I'm not going to speak up from like for African American, or I'm not going to speak up for other people who are being victimized or who are being targeted. Because I was like, if you think this is not going to happen to you, wait the day when it will start happening to you.
Yeah.
And then that day you'll be nobody will be there to support you, because when it was your chance to support someone, you didn't do your bit.
Right. So it's almost like don't be a bystander. It's almost like, you be an upstander If you see something, say something, whether it is your people, whether it is something that is directly attributed to you and yours. We have to stand up for rights,
Yeah.
human rights, human rights, because that is the one thing that we all share. And if you're quiet, like they say, one day they'll come for you.
Yeah.
And I appreciate your words. I appreciate your activism. There's so many people that will hear your poetry because you're on so many platforms. So it's very, very valuable. So I'm going to say, keep on speaking, sister. Keep on with your poetry, and God bless you. And congratulations on everything that you have been able to achieve. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Amira.
You're welcome. And I'll see you soon.
Sure.
Whew, that was one heavy young lady
Promote your
there.
business live on When People Speak. Our promo videos are 35 seconds. They're ran for 3 shows, and it's a good way to grow your business. Support our platform at a low promotion fee. And remember, your business matters. And you can do that by emailing us at whenpeoplespeak@gmail.com. So support When People Speak. Be a sponsor. Be part of the family. We know you're enjoying the show so far, and this is how you can show your support of When People Speak. You can donate now at Cash App, $Amira Shabazz. So support the artist, support the platform. You are the ones that make this show possible. So continue to allow more impactful, inspiring shows by donating now.